The main ship of the Christmas convoy, MV Capitan Felix was forced to turn back shortly after setting sail on December 10. In their way were Chinese vessels, including one Navy and one Coast Guard ship, constantly shadowing foreign boats. MV Oka is carrying more provisions and almost all volunteers for the mission. It is expected back in El Nido, Palawan this afternoon. One News anchors Ed Lingao and Gretchen Ho are aboard MV Capitan Felix Oka. Here's why the trip had to be cut short, according to Gretchen.
4 p.m. yesterday was when we spotted the first Chinese Navy destroyer Changsha 173 that went as near as 5 nautical miles. At around 4:30 to 4:40 p.m., we saw Chinese Coast Guard vessel 5305 going as near as 2.5 nautical miles. The Chinese Coast Guard ship encircled Capitan Felix Oka, going as fast as 21 knots, heading towards the same course taken by our ship. Now, at one point, it even crossed the path of our PCG escort, Melchora Aquino. With Capitan Felix Oka going at 10 knots and only with a max speed of 30 knots, De La Cruz made a judgment call to turn the ship around, headed home, even with the Philippine Coast Guard insisting that we could still continue on. Stay on our port side. That's what the PCG said. The Coast Guard tried to convince Captain De La Cruz to continue, but De La Cruz refused, saying he doesn't want to put the lives of the crew and the passengers on board in danger. Now, with the tensions high and the sun already setting at that point, it would be doubly dangerous to face more Chinese ships at nighttime. Rafaela David, lead of Atin Ito Coalition, says, at this point, it's even become more pressing for us to defend our seas, our EEZ.
Just over the weekend, Beijing went on dangerous maneuvers and fired water cannons at Manila ships. Those actions were slammed by President Bongbong Marcos, calling them aggression and provocations in the West Philippine Sea. Marcos said the incidents have only further steeled his government's determination to defend and protect the nation's sovereignty. The chief executive reiterated only the Philippines has the right to operate in Ayungin Shoal and Bajo de Masinloc. But the Chinese Coast Guard is adamant, claiming Manila intruded during its recent resupply mission. The CCG said they strictly warned and lawfully monitored Filipino ships. It also insisted ownership of Nanshan or Lawak Island as well as Ayungin Shoal and its adjacent waters. Beijing also opposed the alleged illegal transportation of construction materials to the BRP Sierra Madre. Several nations have since condemned China's latest actions, saying they undermine regional stability and the rule of law. On Sunday, Chinese vessels fired water cannons at 2 Filipino boats during a resupply mission. The incident caused severe damage to ML Kalayaan and even the BRP Cabra. A day before that, Chinese ships launched water cannons at vessels of the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. The BFAR vessels were on a regular support mission, bringing oil subsidy and grocery packs to fisherfolk in Bajo de Masinloc. Chinese maritime forces have employed unusual tactics in its recent incursion in the West Philippine Sea. The Christmas convoy was shadowed by several Chinese vessels, including Navy ships along the Sabina Shoal. It's worth noting that China only deploys its Coast Guard and maritime militia in the disputed waters, making the use of Navy ships unusual. In a separate incident in Bajo de Masinloc, there was also the reported use of a long-range acoustic device. This is an equipment used to amplify sound, which had affected some Filipino crew members.
It was reported that it's a long-range acoustic device because it has a lasting effect to the sailors of Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. We believe that it's not just an ordinary ship's horn because it doesn't have that kind of irritating and painful feeling in your senses through hearing. This is the first time that we saw this from being used here in Bajo de Masinloc. But definitely this is not the first time that the Chinese Coast Guard are using this in different parts of the West Philippine Sea.
The PCG, meanwhile, described the water cannon incident in Ayungin as by far the most aggressive action of China.
We're going to evaluate and compare with the other supply mission. Siguro ito na yung talagang mas naging matindi yung impact ng water cannon. Kasi itong water cannon na ginamit nila ngayon sa yung 5204 against sa motor launch Kalayaan nabasag niya yung windshield, na-break niya yung windshield ng ML Kalayaan na barko, and then at the same time nagkaroon ng damage nga yung makina niya.
Time to take a quick break. One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. Nora Babadilla, one of the 2 Filipinos taken hostage by Hamas, says she will return to the Philippines when she is ready to heal from her trauma. Babadilla, who is currently in Tel Aviv, recounted how she was taken. The 60-year-old Filipina was visiting a friend in Kibbutz Nirim when Hamas attacked on October 7. She also recalled their living conditions while in captivity.
Ang pagkain namin pita lang na may konting cheese, yung labanin na tinatawag nila. 3 kami kumakain na bibigyan nila kami ng 2 pita, hati kami 3 doon, tapos konting cheese. Yun lang ang kinakain namin.
Sa isang araw po?
Sa isang araw. Minsan may 2 meals, minsan isa lang, isang beses. Tapos yun nga yung wala kaming ligo. Binigyan kami ng 1 timbang tubig para maligo ba? Magkakasya ba yun sa 3 tao?
Despite Babadilla being an Israeli citizen, the Philippine government says it is prepared to assist Nora after her harrowing experience.
So initially, makakatanggap siya ng $200 na emergency financial assistance from OWA. And then of course, if she decides to go home, she will receive an additional more benefits and financial assistance under the reintegration program of our government.
We now give you a quick look at today's other top stories. The United States vetoed a United Nations resolution demanding an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza. That's as the Israel-Hamas war continues on its 3rd month. Now, the Israeli military has instructed residents of Khan Yunis, the 2nd largest city in the Gaza Strip, to evacuate. Fierce fighting there is underway. Authorities have located the body of the missing passenger from the Cessna plane that crashed in Isabela. The K9 trackers found Irma Escalante's body early Sunday morning, some 200 meters from the crash site. Rescuers initially believed Escalante was still alive after spotting a makeshift shelter near the accident location. Escalante's remains will be transported to Palanan, Isabela. A recent survey showed that more than half of Filipinos do not have access to private medical insurance. Research firm Capstone Intel Corporation found that 3 out of 5 Filipinos, or 59% of the population, do not have insurance. Most Filipinos cited the high cost of getting one as a primary factor for non-availment. Capstone Intel is suggesting educational campaigns and simplifying medical insurance processes to boost the number of policyholders. A big-time oil price rollback will be implemented tomorrow, Tuesday, December 12. Diesel will be cheaper by 1 peso and 85 centavos and gasoline by 1 peso and 60 centavos. Kerosene prices will be slashed by 1 peso and 40 centavos. The rollback in the cost of petroleum products is attributed to weaker global demand. On a lighter note, the biggest names on the TikTok Philippines gathered once again for the Creators Night 2023. TikTok Philippines celebrated the explosive year-end festivity by recognizing outstanding content creators, trends, and moments of Filipinos in 2023. From the For You pages, some celebrities and content creators strutted down the red carpet in an extravagant Met Gala-inspired fashion. Marian Rivera was honored as a Breakthrough Star of the Year for her trending dance videos. The advocacy of pharmacist and TikTok PH Creator of the Year, Archie Larga, was also acknowledged for his medical and educational content. Senior high star Juan Carlos completed a vibe check at the Best of TikTok 2023 with a live performance. One News Now will be back at 3:15 p.m. Join us again later. I'm Denise Tan. We are One News.